Your parents definitely liked you better. No, they liked you? Really?
I made them laugh the most, so I got out of trouble for making them laugh. Like, I turned it into a joke. Like, he was the wild one. I was the... Whoa. I had some wild nights.
I don't give you a title like that. We had 3 rules growing up in our home. It was no motorcycles, no tattoos, no piercings. Those are the rules.
And you did all of the above.
Well, I feel if you're going to break the rules, you should have a firm understanding of them. And really understand what you're breaking.
Dude, we all have the best time ever to start a small business.
If I'm not going to be 100% in, I'm not going to do it.
Come on, man, just be yourself.
Yeah,
and just show up as yourself.
If you don't realize what I'm really about, I'm about freedom, family, and my country.
John, Don, Dirty Water Don. Listen, you guys are good dudes. I appreciate you being here. This podcast is predicated on turning around, helping other regular Joes figure out how to win. And I look at you guys as winning. You guys came out to my event a couple weeks ago through Diesel Dave, Keaton, and those guys. It was during my speech or right after you shot me a little DM. You're like, hey, let me get on your podcast.
I slid into your DM.
Yeah, you did.
Correct.
You did.
Loved it.
Because you recognize real.
Real recognizes real.
Yeah. And I was like, these guys have a lot more love than me. I got about 4,000 followers. You have like 100,000. Your brother's got fucking all types of followers. You're doing big shit.
You can say it. He doesn't have
50,
it.
almost 54.
That's half.
54,000. I didn't want to say anything, but he's at 50%.
It's okay.
But listen.
You gotta start somewhere.
I'm half the personality, double the man, but...
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's a fucking t-shirt.
Josh printed.
Yes. You guys are real dudes. You're also from fucking Jersey.
How you doing?
This podcast is about giving platforms to other entrepreneurs, business owners that are doing what I call God's work, keeping it real, being good dudes. You guys also have an interesting background.
Some might argue.
Diving, welding underwater, one of the most top 10 dangerous jobs.
Top 10 depends where you Google. Some websites, it beats out garbage collecting.
Really? Garbage collecting is dangerous?
Yes, because per capita, more garbage collectors get ran over than a diver dying in the water.
Really?
So they'll win because there's more of them and they have bigger numbers.
So that many guys get ran over, huh?
How many times in your life have you cut off a garbage truck?
I go around it. I don't cut it off.
Sorry, I'll change my verbiage.
Yeah.
How many times have you legally went and passed a garbage truck, probably using your blinker at a good rate of speed,
probably
and
when it's allowed. When passing's on the left.
Now,
right.
if a guy who's working happens to be deaf, dumb, and blind, because equal opportunity employers, steps out in the street while you're making your legal maneuver, and you happen to strike him or her, we don't judge and we allow all people to be hired.
I get out and run. Someone else is driving.
Wow, bold statement. You're legally passing, but you get out and run. It was legal, but I'm leaving.
A lot of legal people are going to jail nowadays. That's
why I don't talk to the cops. Plead the fifth. Don't make a difference. I don't know nothing.
Call my lawyer.
Yeah. Listen, you guys are learning. You're dealing with the networks. You're really learning.
Where?
So we're going to take you back to North Arlington, though. 37?
37.
33? 35? 33 was your story you told me earlier.
That's why the age when I started doing stuff.
Yeah.
18 months apart. Irish twins.
I got the looks.
You Irish?
Whatever.
You look Italian.
No, no Italian.
No.
Zero. We have
Irish and German mainly, and then my mom's side, there's a little bit of Russian, maybe Ukrainian, depending on what year you're talking about.
Is that how you connected to Josh?
No, Josh is my hetero life mate.
We adopted him.
We met him in the union. We recently called our parents on speakerphone and said, hey, will you adopt Josh? My mom said, legally I can, he's of age. I said, well, can you do it symbolically?
Can my dad make a little card that says we adopt him?
So he's now our new little brother.
Is the card
so
made?
excited.
Oh, yeah.
The card was made?
At home,
Yeah, laminated too, yeah. In case he cries.
He's good at paperwork. So officially, publicly, welcome to the family, Josh.
Josh. To Josh.
Now, by the way, today is Buy Your Older Brother Dinner Day. It's a national holiday. Seafood. It's every day.
Seafood dinner, crustaceans.
So you guys were, you were wild dudes, just like a lot of my friends I grew up with. You were having fun, living your life. You were rolling with some of the bikers.
I did.
You were doing your thing. You were like the prom king, queen. Like, what were you doing?
Yeah,
we don't question gender. I appreciate that.
No gender question.
We lived many lives already.
We did.
And we're still on the roll.
Where were you the prom king? Is it North Arlington High School?
Yeah. Well, he was homeschooled.
Now, granted, there was only 88 people in my graduating class.
I was prom king.
Mm-hmm. Did you drive a 6-cylinder Mustang?
I wasn't allowed to be on the prom court because by that age I was arrested with felony. So...
Well, what'd you do? What happened?
Grand larceny. Allegedly, we broke into an establishment and took a bunch of money. After hours, of course. We're not robbers. We're burglars. We're burglar. We were young, and they came and picked me up the day after Martin Luther King Day, sitting in history class. Miss Smith, if you're watching, I'm sorry I embarrassed your class and disrespected it. My apologies.
You were 17. You were underage.
I was 17, yeah.
You go to juvie?
No. They told me they were going to charge me as an adult unless I gave them the information. My father laughed and said, "You're going to charge him out as a juvenile because he is one, and none of your officers say prosecutor on it, and we're going to go home." And he went home, and he hired the best lawyer he could at the time, and of course he charged me for it. Nothing in this world's free. So all the money I did make went to legal bills. So crime really doesn't pay.
Plus, you got to help him with weekends for the next forever.
I still owe punishment time. I'm pretty sure, almost positive.
That's great.
It's all right. My parents.
It's a story.
Yeah.
You learned.
Yeah.
Did you get better?
No, I became a better criminal.
Yeah.
Later on in life, I did a lot more dumb shit. Got arrested a couple more times.
Got better at paperwork.
Got better at paperwork.
Were you behaved the whole time?
Yes and no.
Your parents
No.
definitely liked you better. No, they liked you. Really?
I
You
made
are a
them.
talker.
I made them laugh the most, so I got out of
show up.
trouble for making them laugh. Like I turned it into a joke. Like he was the wild one. I was the.
Whoa.
I had some wild nights.
I don't give you a title like that. We had 3 rules growing up in our home. It was no motorcycles, no tattoos, no piercings. Those are the rules.
And you did all of the above.
Well, I feel if you're going to break the rules, you should have a firm understanding of them. And really understand what you're breaking.
So it says I'm a fan of loopholes. I was like, fine, I won't do those 3 things, but I'll do everything else.
I'll get a moped
Yeah.
and henna tattoo.
I'll take mushrooms. I'll smoke weed. Things like that.
Remember when Mom found weed in your room when you were young?
18th birthday.
Great
The
time.
next morning, it was Friday night. The next morning, day after my 18th birthday, she sits us down at the dining room table. She was family meeting, and him and the only others were living home. Only 2. So like, okay,
pretty
the
weird.
2 of us.
Awkward.
Fine. So we sit down, and she goes, okay, I'm going to say this one time only. Go downstairs and get it. And she looks right at me. And I'm like, get what?
So why was I even present? for
What are you
this meeting?
talking about? She goes, I know you have
She
it.
just wanted you there.
Yeah, she goes,
was
I
going to
know,
pull you into
yeah,
it somehow.
I know you have it. Go get it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, marijuana. Is it
My wife did that. She found it in the medical cabinet.
It's in, it's in, she goes,
She
it's
walked
in,
in my apartment. She's
Yeah.
like, she was like a fucking canine. You got weed in
Smell
here.
it.
So she goes, go downstairs and get it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, up in the light. I know it's there. Go get it. And there's no way she could reach or even know it was there.
Why was she changing the
physically.
light?
She wasn't.
She wasn't. She just knew it
She
was
said
there.
she had a dream that I came home and put it into the light.
Did you give
Also,
her shrooms?
I was reading Word Up magazine as well.
So I end up go getting it and putting it on the table. My dad quick opens it up and starts sniffing it, and she's like, "Go flush it." And she goes,
was oregano.
he goes, "Do we have to?" No, it was like
was pretty much
awesome. Yeah, I didn't fuck around.
Like berry fresh or cantaloupe?
Yeah, it was good. Well, this was 2000.
Cantaloupe is delicious.
This was 2004, so whatever was great then, you know, like Silver Haze or something.
He
whatever
told
you
us the
get.
story about how weed saved his life and he couldn't ground us for it. I'm not sure how he said us.
No, he said
Wasn't
he said
involved.
psychedelics saved his life.
No, it was weed. He was
Why did psychedelics save his life?
So he went to New Mexico Tech for college in the 70s, late
Archaeology.
70s. Yeah, he majored in
your dad was an
archaeology.
IBM guy.
That's my grandfather, my dad. So it's his son.
This is lineage.
So he goes to Mexico Tech, archaeology, and some other
Packer.
stuff. And his senior year, he goes out and he does like a shit ton of acid, smokes a lot of weed, drinks a shit ton. And then his roommate, he was a fellowship or something of the department where he had to get rid of like a lot of like crystallized dynamite. Whatever reason he had to do it. So he's gonna drive out to the middle of the desert and blow it up.
Shady as fuck.
So he asked my dad, hey,
Mexico
CIA shit, definitely.
he asked my dad, hey, do you want to come with me and blow this up? My dad's like, fuck yeah.
Do I?
He goes, did you smoke anything? He goes, no, I didn't do anything. I'm straight. But meanwhile, he just took shit. So they get to the desert. Now he's tripping his balls off in the middle of the desert.
He's about to light off this crystallized
They light
diamond.
this shit off. They're standing behind this giant boulder, and they're standing up. And he says all of a sudden, like, a million lights are sparked up in the sky, and he's standing there, like, oh my God. And the kid pulled them down at the last second, and a giant boulder went over their heads.
Although it's a great story, that's the one I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is they were riding their dirt bikes to the desert.
That was- yeah,
and they
weeks
had
later.
no headlights on the dirt bikes. And the friend, his roommate, signaled, hey, let's pull over and smoke, as my father calls it, a bone. They stopped their dirt bikes, lit their joint, and walked 10 paces, and there was a giant crater. They would have rode their
Like
bikes
500
into it.
feet right into it. They would have died.
So he's like, can't yell at the boys for weed because weed saved my life.
Yeah, that was the story.
And we were like, what the fuck? And my mom was totally distracted by his story that we just kind of like slinkied away. And John went to go grab the weed off the table. And my father was like, no. I took it back. But we didn't get in trouble.
And they flushed it.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, he did. I watched him.
Nah.
I give you a lot of credit for persistency. You were still trying to grab the weed.
Yeah, why not?
What wouldn't you?
I mean,
I paid for it, my hard-earned money.
Yeah, you
Cutting grass, working
Yeah,
at Blimpies.
you cut grass to buy
Blimpies?
grass.
That's right. I worked at Blimpies. Yeah, I ran that
You
shit.
know, shit. You know Jared?
That's Subway. And no,
Oh, yeah,
I don't.
that is Subway.
He's a freak, and I don't like freaks.
Blimpy does not hang out with those kind of guys, all right?
Yeah, Subway's pre-made. It's bullshit.
All right.
Blimpy's just hand cut. It's hand quality shit we're talking.
You think it's good?
Used to be,
disgusting.
yeah. No, I used to be.
Fucking terrible.
It used to be.
You made a mean chicken
It was the
parm.
first sandwich shop
did
ever.
Like, what was your best sandwich you did?
Chicken parm.
I made the tuna. I made it pretty fucking good.
Bullshit. You don't always
chicken-
tuna here.
You guys are so opposite but the same. He goes fucking tuna, you go chicken parm.
He made it.
No, I go everything. That's the issue too.
He's the cook in the family. He
I was saying
cooks
that's why I
and
made the best out the like. I put like breadcrumb in it and like special seasonings, made it nice.
How old were you?
This is
17, 18, and like I was
Last week.
just turning 19 when I worked in that 3-year stretch of Blimpy. But I also worked at pizzerias. I cut grass. I had like tons of different jobs all over town.
What was it? Pizza Land was all of our first
I used
job.
to do odd jobs for old people. Like they pay the best.
What were you doing, Don?
I had like a criminal enterprise.
Riding bikes and
So you were just in like the biker gang.
Well, no, this was before that.
no bicycles. I meant.
Yeah, bicycles.
Riding bikes, BMX guy.
BMX guys.
And
We were
chasing
young,
tail.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You were a BMX guy?
Chasing tail on his bike.
Were you smaller?
I was 50 pounds lighter than I am today because of my wife had twins recently. So all those McDonald's smoothies at 2 in the morning and you get a 20 piece because
That's your
fucking you're
excuse?
there. You
Yeah,
know?
20 piece for the table.
Yeah, for the table, it's for everybody. I thought, hey, I want these for you. She's like, I don't want those. I want my smoothie. And then you eat them.
Oh, and I gotta
So
get
you
them paid for
were
'em.
biking it up. You were doing some BMX
Yeah, I
shit.
always loved BMX.
Hitting some grinds.
I used to come down to Sayreville to the bowl. It's a great time.
What was your best move?
I could do a tail whip really nice. And I ended with a
Still?
bar
Can you do
spin.
it still? Can you do it on a beach cruiser?
No.
We should film that.
I just thought I couldn't do it. What are you
I'll
going to
jump
We
a
should
ramp
film
on a
it
beach
anyway.
cruiser.
All right, well, fuck, I'll try.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, you dive in weird waters. Why not try a fucking tail?
What makes them weird? I think more like
the Hudson River? Who the fuck goes in the Hudson River?
Cosmo Kramer. That was East River.
Military guys swimming every year.
Yeah.
They're in the military. It's different.
Why is it
Ex-military
different?
Muslim, yeah.
Military guys.
Because they're fit.
No,
I get it. I'm like melted ice
They're
cream.
forced to.
No, they volunteer. They do
Really?
it for a charity
Yeah,
event.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they raise money.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, you guys are wild dudes, having fun, being real, great parents, working hard. When did you decide to be a diver?
I was working for a company called International Tank Services out of Lima, Ohio. And I was working there welding storage tanks for jet fuel and kerosene at the time. I made a comment about my job being so dangerous, I should have a better pay. Now, prior to that event, I went to school for aeronautical engineering, wanted to be an astronaut.
So you were upselling like from a young age.
Yes. So I couldn't be an astronaut, so I went to be I worked in tanks, doing tank work. Worked for the railroad for a little bit, for 4 years, doing freight.
What's up with all the derailed trains? What's going
There's
on
always
with that?
been derailed trains. Now
Seems
they're
to
just
be a lot.
publicizing. No, it's always been like that.
Plus the rail system's shitty in this country.
No, it's not that bad. Yeah, remember, when you ride on a rail, right, the truck, it's only touching a piece of rail the size of a dime at any given time. And it sways.
But isn't that that's like maybe we should do away with that then? It's
Well, the problem we
antiquated.
had is when we made the rails, we followed the cut-in tracks of wagon and wagoneers.
Yeah, so we should do away with it. It's antiquated.
I don't know if it's antiquated.
A lot of
Hold on, you can't count to 10 when you're tossing out antiquated?
I can count to 9.
But you can't say 10, you can say antiquated?
It's close.
To antiquated? All right, we'll talk about
9
this
is
later.
close to 10.
All right.
Don't throw me off with your fucking ADD.
Guys, I can't handle it. I'm just confused on how we're comparing the rail system to be antiquated. I think it's a very effective service.
You just said you started with fucking roll cars, and now we got things that do 120 on it.
But those are different those are different train systems.
Well, I just know trains. I can't hang a shelf, dude. So I just know trains go on
Well, you have
rails.
freight that doesn't exceed a certain speed, and then you have passenger and bullet trains that are designed to go that rate of speed, and they have a different track system.
Okay, well, how the fuck did you get to diving?
I get to diving. So from there, I couldn't be an astronaut. I tried my hand at tank welding. I feel like I didn't get paid enough, so I looked into diving because I was told it was the world's most dangerous job by Google. I called my
So that
ex-wife.
excited you?
Yes. Anything worth doing is worth doing dangerously, right? So she Googled it for me. She set up, I didn't know she did this. She set up the appointment at the school in Jersey, down in South Jersey, to go to the school and do a tour without my even knowing. So I got home from work, and she said, hey, by the way, Saturday you're taking a tour. So I went, I did the tour, I graduated top of my class, had a great time doing it. And I always figured I can't be an astronaut, I'll be an aquanaut. So I ran with it, I got really good at it. So I figured like in Armageddon, when they needed someone to go to space, they got the best of the best, right? So if I'm the best diver in the world, by theory, if you need to go to space, I'm only like 30 grand of education and astronauts like 2 million. Send me. I can turn a wrench better than this guy. That was my thought process. I was young.
liked it.
So I applied myself at diving, climbed the ladder, climbed the ranks, had a good bunch of crews I worked with. I got broken out relatively early in my career, which means when you go from tending, the guy choking the hose, to the guy on the other end in the water. So I only tended for about a month. I had a good crew that vouched for me, and I got in the water, and I never got out. I'm doing it for over 10 years in the union, local 1556.
Must have had a great rabbi.
My rabbi was the cat's meow. This guy, Bobby Maz. And I don't know if you know about union work. The guy that gets you in, the guy that vouches for you or vets you, is referred to as a rabbi. So if you have any trials and tribulations or little hiccups in your career or through your apprenticeship, you call your rabbi, and your rabbi takes care of it. So all my tomfoolery and things
Sounds
of that
like
nature.
the union.
Yeah.
And this guy was top dog without being like on the board.
He doesn't need to be in the
No,
meeting to
yeah.
run the meeting. Like he was
The last of
somebody.
the
So
old
he was
school
like Tony
type guys.
Soprano.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took a liking to me.
Yeah.
Very
But
unassuming.
But you
though,
guys
guy.
named him Rabbi.
He's called the rabbi. He paid
Why
for
not
my
like,
book.
like John Paul or like the Pope?
I don't know. I didn't get the name.
He's your confidant. He's consigliere.
He's your
Yeah.
guy.
He's Judas like what? Wartime and peacetime. Consigliere.
I'm just trying to figure out your language.
It's very difficult.
Don't get upset, Don.
South Jersey and
Don't
North
know
Jersey.
Don. He's fucking,
It's like
he's
pork
witty.
roll Taylor ham. It's the
Yeah, what do
same
you
thing,
call it?
but
Pork
you
roll
know.
Taylor ham.
Pork roll, dude, all day.
We're done here. Get out of here. Took the car.
Yeah, you're from North
Josh
Arlington.
started.
What do you know? You don't fucking know pork
I
roll.
actually know the owner of Toilet Taylor Ham.
Trenton?
We worked with his cousin, no, his brother. This guy was in the union with us. Anyway, we'll get back on topic. So the rabbi got me in. He took a liking to me. He paid for my union book because I didn't have a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. I didn't have the money for my book. He paid for it and told me when I got on my feet to pay him back. Fast forward a year later, I went to go pay him. He said, your money's no good here.
I'm going to come back to that story with your boy. What you did with him. Driving to probation. What were you doing at the time?
I was driving. I think at that time I was like driving a cement truck, a dump truck. I was
You were doing it all,
odd
landscaper?
jobs, warehouse. Yeah, just trying to find my way.
Hustling.
I was married to my first wife. It didn't work out.
That happens.
And then met my
You're
new
young.
wife, and that was it. She's perfect for me.
How many kids you have now?
I have 3, first wife.
Those are rookie numbers. Pump those numbers
13, 10, and 7.
Wow, what do you
boy,
got?
boy, girl.
up. I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 2-year-old, and newborns.
Twins this week.
Yeah.
Right.
I have
Twins this week, guys. Congrats.
Nunzio
And Jude.
What's the name?
Nunzio and Jude.
Nunzio?
They came out, and
Is
my
that
wife had a
Italian?
C-section.
Very Italian.
Yeah,
Hey.
my wife's Italian.
Hey, how you doing?
And they bring
you
the babies around. One has jet black hair, one has white hair. And she looks and she goes, that one's Nunzio, that one's Jude. I was like, that was easy. He looks Italian.
And you guys still showed up for the podcast. You didn't need to do that. You guys are fucking killing it.
I'm actually leaving here and going to do the bottle feeding tonight. I'm on the schedule for tonight.
You didn't have to come today. Thank you for coming.
Why wouldn't I come?
You got a kid in the hospital?
I'm scheduled to go to the nighttime feeding.
He's on the mend. He's gaining
Yeah,
weight.
he's doing good.
You're following the
great.
calendar.
Yeah, just I
on
go
the
where I go. I go where I'm
My
told.
wife and I did, how many weeks in the NICU with Colton? 5 days?
Too long.
It felt like
5 days.
months.
It felt like forever.
Yeah, too long.
Every time we came in, they're like, put your cell phone down, wash your hands. There was some like heroin addict in there. I was like, I'm out of here. This is fucking weird.
I took my bracelets off because I dove with them on, and I had diesel fuel and stuff on them, and just ethyl methyl bad shits. And I go to the hospital last night, and the woman goes, "Where's your bracelets?" And NICU, I go, "Well, I had them in a Ziploc. I had to take them off because any soap you have here is not going to clean these. I'm not going to touch my son with these on my wrist, but here they are." And it was like a whirlwind. I wasn't allowed to do that. I'm like, but I can bring germs from the East River in, and that's okay. So, but we take
But
turns.
You said the East River is sort of clean.
No,
Yeah,
what I
did.
said was the solution to pollution is dilution. So if you have, like I gave you the example, people are able to dive in the ocean and not think about the bodies, but they won't jump into a swimming pool with a dead dude because everyone has that ratio of dirty, icky to water.
There's never been dead dudes in my pool, as I know of.
You know of, but there could have been.
You want to go swimming tonight?
I can't swim. He believed me. Saw in his eyes. Yeah,
He believed you.
I can swim.
I was going to say something, but I let it go.
Well, no, it wasn't the number 10. I know that.
11. So
Wow, it blew my mind.
you guys were like having fun, doing your thing, getting the union. When did you start saying like, I need to do something that's like gonna stand out?
I
wanna do something-
never did.
You never thought like, hey, I'm gonna go get on YouTube. I'm gonna go.
No, that was all him.
That was me.
I was
but
gonna
didn't
say,
know
the
how
brains
to,
are over
but
here.
I knew that
Whoa.
we could do it. I knew we had the talent and I call it the Jersey bullshit to do it. But I didn't know how yet.
All these are offensive slang terms.
That is offensive, especially
Not
for people in Utah. The Mormons get very upset at the
That's
Jersey.
all right.
These are Dave. These are
Yeah,
Dave
they get
loves
more
you
offended
guys.
when
though.
you're out to dinner with them and you order an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah,
and they're
they don't like booze.
The fuck, guy?
Dave don't drink.
I read the room. I ordered water. like a gentleman.
Yeah, but Doug next to me ordered a Scotch neat. I'm like, I'll order a mojito. Thanks.
Like, this guy fucks.
Yeah.
I'll take a mojito.
But I didn't know he was at that threshold of like, these guys are drinking
All I'm
over
going to
here.
say is that the
These guys
VIP
are
dinner
not.
for
I
the
was
event.
over here, yeah.
At the VIP dinner, Diesel Dave got behind the bar, was pouring everybody their drinks. So I don't think they're that mad.
He is one classy human being.
Yeah,
Really
he's
is.
hilarious.
They're my top 10 favorite people.
Top 10.
Yeah.
That's some big numbers.
there.
I think it's cool when you
Genuine.
have that type of love and fame, and you could just move through a room and just be you and not like look for that attention. Like he avoids it. Like I said, those two Italian guys are sitting down, they're hanging out, and Diesel Dave's just like, and he could tell they were checking him out. Like, I know this fucking guy. He's on a huge show. What's his deal? And Dave just played it cool as the other side of the pillow, man. He was just a regular
He's a
dude.
great guy.
He's a really, all those guys are good
Yeah,
dudes.
but we took a liking to Dave, and we got a good rapport with Dave. He texted me after the kids were born. Like, we stayed in touch.
Yeah.
We worked with other talent before doing these proceedings. And, you do your thing, you shake hands, have a good night, that's it, we're done. But Dave stayed in contact
Yeah,
with
then
us.
he invited us to Limitless Society, your thing, and
That's
we were
Keith's
like,
thing.
we were like,
The event was
yeah, the
his
event.
thing.
Yeah,
event.
we were like, wait, this is what is this? We talked about
What
it
did
for
you
a
guys
while.
think about the event?
I enjoyed, all right, full disclosure, I thought it was complete bullshit, right? And then I went.
Exactly.
And I've been walking every morning. When I wake up earlier and I walk.
Your daily habits changed?
They're changing.
Yep,
The next big hurdle I
You
have
asked
to
a great
overcome.
question at the thing, too, to the panel.
Yes, about how to turn off the entrepreneur social media, take
Be
on
a
the
dad.
world and be a dad. Because I found
It's
myself.
hard to do.
It's very difficult.
And what helps is I followed all you guys. Nick, you, the muscle, everybody. That
Why
was
don't you
there.
follow me?
I don't know if I like you that much.
He's mad that Rogan follows you.
You saw
We'll
that?
get to that, though.
Appreciate you.
I'm not that mad, but
Rogan, besides him coming for you, which, by the way, it's inevitable. Sorry to be the bad news. John would like a follow. Just before he takes you down, please follow John.
I'm following John first, Rogan, so.
One step ahead of you.
Yeah.
it's true.
You don't lack resources, you lack being resourceful. Funny story,
It's a
actually.
fortune cookie.
Rob Bailey, great dude. He came to the event, gave us some love. He'll come out to our men's retreat.
guy.
You guys should come do it. No, some shooting, hand-to-hand combat, talking men's fellowship, entrepreneurialism, how it all intertwines. But Rob's talking shit to me about, he goes, the one thing about your speech I thought was bullshit is I'm going to be #1 podcast in the world in 10 years. I said, who, you and Sangerman? I don't give a fuck. I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm going to pump like $20,000 a month in ads, and like, how are you going to catch up to me? I said, well, I'm pretty resourceful. I got you here to my event for free. And he started talking about it. Rob Bailey's a great dude. I actually hired him as a coach. I stroked him a very large check and like gladly did it because he's a good dude. He's a real dude. Another East Coast guy.
I'll coach you for half.
Thank you.
What are you coaching me on?
How to
Smoking
be a
Marlboro
diver.
Reds?
How to be a diver.
How to get bent?
One time.
Oh, we're going to get into that. Your boy told me all about it. Got you on Barstools, though. That
No,
whole
we
story,
were on
right?
Barstool before that.
Oh, really?
We did, Barstool came out with us and dove with us and did this
Who
big...
on Barstool? You got to get Poino in the water.
No,
Wonton
Portnoy
Don.
won't sit on my lap and take a photo, so...
He uses the Cape Cod water. It's like shallow.
We had Wonton, Don, and Billy Football who came on with us.
Wonton Don.
He's in Nepal right now, about to climb Everest.
Really?
Yeah,
Pretty nice.
doing big things.
I asked him if we could
No pun
dive
intended.
Chernobyl, and he didn't want to do it.
Why not?
Pussy?
You scared of Putin?
Also, maybe a funding thing.
Yeah. No, he's not a pussy. It was a funding issue.
So you guys start to say, I'm doing more of this dive stuff. When did the first video happen? And then how did you get discovered by all these people? And it was a combination of
We
you
have
know,
the
you doing it, your
discovery
thoughts.
thing happening already.
But how did that transpire?
Well, the friend of mine I worked with was reached out by a talent scout out of Anomaly Entertainment, I believe. Woman, Andrea, reached out to a buddy of mine, and he has LinkedIn. And there's a
You don't
photo.
go to LinkedIn?
I don't have LinkedIn. We have a career.
You're
I'm
shot,
good. So we're there, and there's a photo of me and him. I was much more svelte. But I have tattoos from the collarbone down.
Shredded? You look
No,
like Wes-
never shredded. Never shredded.
You kind of look like Wes Watson with tattoos, but Wes
Who's
is
Wes
shredded.
Watson?
Yeah, look him up, Wes Watson.
I'll Google it. So, Josh, Google Wes Watson, all right? Get that back to me. So from there,
He didn't say it right.
Kevin wasn't a good fit, so they asked who I was. He gave them all my contact information. They emailed me a few times. I was a little jerk off. I responded with, I'm busy looking for the Prince of Persia's gold. When I'm done with that, I'll hit you guys up.
Was that like a joke?
Yeah, because you get those emails that are spam. They're my gold from the Prince
Send
of
us
Persia.
$1,000 and you can get the access to the Prince of Persia's gold or something.
Anyway,
Old people fell for it.
Yeah, low people on the totem pole like us, we get those emails. People like you in the upper echelon, you don't get those emails.
You, but motherfucker, I'm just a regular dude like you guys.
So from there, we did a bunch of interviews, you know, and they asked about my question, my career and everything, and I explained that I had a brother. And they're like, well, do you mind if we talk to him? We love the brother dynamic. He's your blood brother, yeah. Do you come from a broken home? No. We went through all these proceedings. And they're like, you don't fit any of the cookie cutter shit we want for cable, but let's talk to him. And then he sold himself, and then we came as a package deal.
Smart.
Separate Zoom calls we did, and they came back to us like 48 hours later, like, will you sign a holding deal for 30 days?
Now, at the time, we didn't know any better. We just signed it blindly, didn't ask for any cheddar. Yeah. Now we know better. Now you want me to sit around? I get paid. Yeah. Daddy gets paid if I'm sitting here.
That's right.
So you guys get to deal with Discovery. What was that show all about?
That show was called Sewer Divers, and the premise was different men and women throughout the country going through the infrastructure and the underbelly of the sewer systems and to see if they were in good condition or in decay.
Where'd you start?
Our first job we did was in Belleville, New Jersey. We had a great time in Belleville. The EMS, the fire department, the police came out. They were great.
How is the underground sewage?
That one was great. Other locations we dove and went to, not good repairs, not really good. There was rumor that we would do a season 2 and we'd go over the country, and our ratings dictated we should have. But then when our season 1 ended, Discovery got sold, and they brought in to Warner Brothers and brought in all new upper echelons who want to make a name for themselves and
you
don't
gotta
want
talk
to
to
deal.
Basil. Basil knows the Warner guys.
Well, yeah, they didn't want it, so we end up going to another network, which you can't discuss, but we're going to do a different premise of a different show, depicting on what we're doing now.
Is it like an older network, a lot of history to it?
Yes, older network has a lot of history to it. You're absolutely correct.
Correctamundo.
Correctamundo. Yeah. And we're going to do the premise of the East River and the treasure troves that are in the East River. We're hoping to be the next Oak Island. But unlike those guys, we actually find shit.
Explain Oak Island.
We're better looking brothers.
Good call. So from Oak Island's perspective, it's a hole in an island, like an old well, and they believe there's a treasure down there that's set up by booby traps by One Eye Willie. But and you got to get to the bottom of it.
The issue with that is,
you ever see that North Carolina show? What the hell is that show called?
I heard about it. And you're talking about with the treasure.
Yeah, what's that show with the treasure, Cal? North Carolina. Outer Banks.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I've heard. I haven't watched it, but same premise, looking for treasure, and we feel we have what it takes to be the next Oak Island. They have like 10 or 12 seasons. They're crushing it.
But we actually found something.
But we actually found something.
You guys are getting love though too, like, and we're jumping around a lot because you guys are fun guys and we're just fucking chopping it up. But you guys also have like the opportunity to go on Rogan pretty soon.
Yeah. So
talk about that. Talk about what you guys are diving for currently and what you found today.
Take that one.
So this morning we set sail from Jersey City to go shoot B-roll. Like we wanted to get a YouTube channel started, and so we had our new production guy and Josh, our current
I gotta stop you real quick.
Yeah.
For people who need to know, this is a nugget. You want to start shooting content, you're gonna work with the networks, sign a contract that allows you to control your shit.
Yeah, own your content.
You guys did that. Yeah,
Own your content. Yep. So we decided, let's take a day, nice beautiful day like today, and go shoot B-roll. And then some A-roll and some stuff like that. So
on the fly interviews.
We were out there today, and Dirty Water Don was in the water for, I'd say, 14 to 20 minutes, somewhere in there.
12 minutes, but yeah.
If that. And he goes, yo, come to the ladder. I think I found something.
I was there just videoing underwater content, and I came across something. It didn't feel like anything I ever felt.
Isn't it crazy how you guys like go deep, you think this all out. I'm sure you have all types of info and data, and then your random day where you're just fucking around with some film,
yep,
you find it.
And I get passed it up to them. I go, I don't know what the fuck this is. I've never seen anything like this before. I give it to the guys. I'll keep going down there and filming. He gets on the radio. He's like, bro, I think this is it.
Is it cold in there right now?
Yes, it's about 48 degrees, something like that. I was only about 12 feet of water. It wasn't deep. And so I don't believe him because he's a ball buster. And then Nick the Greek comes on, and Nick's like, I think you need to get out of the water and come see this. I was like, why? He goes, you need to start making phone calls.
You guys have comms?
Yeah, we constant communication. He's my comms guy.
Yeah.
So
what do they call that guy, though, real quick?
Tender.
Yeah. So, a couple months back, you heard Reeves on Joe Rogan talking about you guys diving for this shit.
Yeah. Well, Reeves did the show first, discussed what it was, where he dumped it. Him and my other buddy Cortez were both all about it, both on each side of me, telling me we got to do this.
And this was our show on Discovery Channel, Sword Divers. It premiered January 1st, New Year's Day. I'm at his house. This year. I'm at his house. I'm watching the premiere. He's outside having a cigarette. I'm outside. I was like, listen, bud, we need to get the fuck out there tomorrow. Like, we have to. So I convinced him to go out there the next day. Me, him, and Cortez were out there on the river walk by the park,
The mezzanine.
and we're getting an idea of like how can we do this. He's like, I think we need a boat somehow. I'm like, call our buddy Randy King.
Call Randy. I thought it was gonna be a tough pitch. Really was. Thought it was gonna be terrible because the boats he have aren't cheap. You know, and I'm not the greatest of people when it comes to boats. So
You don't know how to drive them, you just dive?
no, I can drive them. I just I'm not kind to equipment. Everything in my mind is a tool, and I will use it as such. It's not a treasure to me. It's there to work. You know, it's there for a job. So most of the time when I have dive jobs, they're not my personal boats. So to me, it's just as much as a hammer. Just use it. And so we called Randy. I gave him the pitch, and the pitch was like 30 seconds long. He's like, I'm in.
Say less.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, come tomorrow. So the next day, we went on the 4th, got
January
the boat.
3rd.
January 3rd. Got the boat. The boat he gave us didn't have a throttle cable in it. So we
Let
had to
me
fix the
set
boat.
up. Let me set up the scenario for that morning, January 3rd. We get up nice and early. We get up to Peekskill, New York, to his yard. It is 0 visibility fog outside.
Is this the story you told me earlier of like 32, you're 33?
No,
I was
Yeah,
diving.
it's different. So,
Different.
0 visibility, right? I had my boat license for what, 6 months at this point? I got it from the one job we were working on
Ink was
LaGuardia.
still wet on it.
So I have maybe like experience going from a dock to a work platform there and back. Nothing crazy. Not on open water or
Don't
the East
sell
River.
yourself short. Did a great job.
I know. So
He's being humble.
Yes.
So Randy's like, yeah, go ahead, leave. So mind you, I have to get from Peekskill, New York to the East River, 65th
It's a
Street.
2-hour boat ride.
And I had to go through a shortcut under a small bridge and all this other
What boat were
crazy
you in?
shit.
It's a bathtub. It's a
24
wide
foot,
open,
yeah.
24-foot skiff with a 200 Merc motor on the back. The boat's all motor.
You're a first timer out here or something like that. So now I'm navigating through 0 visibility fog with a compass and his app on his phone. I'm using both at the same time.
Yeah, there was
Going
no
maybe
tracks. There was
a
no
knot-
tracks for you guys to trace
a knot
back
and a
to.
half, yeah. Praying to God I don't run
we
into
made
something.
it.
We even get down, and we're about 4 hours into the trip, maybe 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of freaking out because like any moment I feel like we're at the Titanic, we're gonna sink. And I see these giant lights in the sky, different colors, and I'm like, dude, fucking aliens, just great, right? He's like, yo, your mouth looks
Were
like
you doing
spaceships.
shrooms?
No,
but he was hard pressed. There was aliens.
You told me that
couldn't see
you
anything
operate best
fog-wise.
under shrooms.
So I'm looking at these lights. We end up coming closer and closer and closer and going underneath. It was the Mario Cuomo Bridge.
All right.
So we made it there, and
It's
as
the
soon
fucking,
as
it's the Tappan Zee.
it's all
Cuomo
yeah,
Bridge?
it's on, yeah.
Who the fuck's Cuomo?
Who's that guy?
Fake pandemic guy?
No, that was his father, Mario Cuomo's bridge.
I know.
Son,
I'm
is,
just
you
saying.
know, he's
yeah.
a
Same family.
How you doing? I
Same
get nipple
lineage.
piercings, no big deal. But so we reach under the bridge and then it opens up a little bit and I start hauling ass. But that was an adventure, driving like 6 hours through fog. Just
So what did you guys do after that?
We dove and
we
dove
went to
and
Tappan Zee.
dove.
We went to the 65th Street.
And that
on
was
East
for
River
what show
Drive.
at that time?
Nothing. It was just us.
Us on our
Are you
own
shooting
dime, right out
content?
there.
No, we didn't know better. We were just there looking for bones.
I was doing Instagram videos and posting.
Just small stuff.
That's how John.
Give a nugget real quick to people that like just doing them, being real. Like maybe you're nervous with it, maybe you don't think you're the shit, but like pull the camera out. Have
Honest-
a Josh, have an Evan, have a owner.
Someone's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just trying to get on Joe Rogan. I'm like, this is it. Like, fuck the Tuskens. I don't care about that stuff.
So you heard Reeves say this. Explain what Reeves said.
So he did this whole grandiose spiel. First of all, fantastic human being. I haven't met him yet in person, but otherwise, everything I've come across, his content, speaking to him in person with Don speaks to him in person, fantastic gentleman, real old school type of guy. He tells this grandiose story about he owns this Alaskan boneyard that he bought this mining company in 2000, February 2000, and came with it, came all of this stuff, and he had proof that the Museum of Natural History had property his he wanted back. So he went to them. They told him they were doing some work in the basement, asbestos basement.
yeah.
Couldn't have it back for years. So he went and did his own thing, found bones on his property. That kept him distracted, he said. And then he went back to them years later and was like, hey, I want my property back. And they're like, nope, we don't have it. Sorry, it's gone. We never had it, actually, I think they said, if I'm not mistaken. So his lawyers looked up all this proof.
They went through the archives and they found a document that was unpublished. And it stated that it was one boxcar worth of content, an estimated 50 tons of mammoth bones, remains, and other like animals that were dumped in the East River on and about 65th Street.
So he wanted somebody to prove that shit, and then he wins it back.
So he said,
He wins
dare
a
someone
lawsuit.
with-
All right, now I'm tying this story together.
I
Now you
dare
get a-
someone
you get a
with
free dive team,
Yeah,
is
I
what
dare
it's like,
someone with
you
the
know?
venture and, the equipment to go do it and start a bone
Well,
run.
he said scuba, which...
And that
Well,
was in
yeah.
that was in a conversation with Rogan.
Yep.
A normal waterway, maybe you could do scuba, but not these
So at
areas.
the time, Rogan said, if these motherfuckers find this shit,
If someone goes out and finds it,
He finds a
said,
tusk.
He said a tusk.
You can come on.
I'll have you on. So the jawbone happened, and we were
Found
like,
a jawbone about
"What's
6
up,
weeks
buddy?"
ago. We found
and you proved it was
jawbone.
legit.
Yeah, it was legit. And well, we were a little discouraged because we had good media coverage prior to this event of the find. And I mean, we were in 36 publications: the New York Times, the Daily Mail, a couple German outputs came out, Galileo.
But they looked at it like, oh, this is like a feel-good story about what could be there, and it was probably not. The museum, the best, there was a scene of this guy doing an interview at the museum, and he's like, had a bow tie. Oh, there's nothing there. Like,
They'll never find
real
anything.
snarky.
And then we did.
And then we found it.
And then all media coverage
The
stopped.
snarky fucks always lose, just so you know.
Yeah, but all media silence.
The media
Nobody
went away.
reached out to us again for
media
another
is
story.
silence about a lot of things.
And then we found a piece of tusk. And it was our 73rd
How did you prove it was a
dive.
tusk? I know you have a
So on
really
our
fine
crew,
lady on your team.
Yeah, on our crew we have an anthropologist who minored in
Focus on archaeology.
archaeology. She's also a diver with us.
Michelle
And then
Beckman.
we called John Reeds himself, who has collected over 150,000 specimens. And his children, as they dubbed, are master boners. And then he is a super boner,
That's right.
a term that they've coined.
Super boner is a weird term, but
50,000
It is.
bones or more, or something like that.
So
Super
that's
boner.
why we dubbed the name Boner Divers, because it's just cheeky. I
is
love
that
it.
another LLC?
Yes.
You should make T-shirts for that.
We have sweatshirts.
Yeah.
All right.
Limited edition.
Nice.
We ran them quick. We sold 750 of them.
Really?
Barstool Sports asked us if we do a collaboration with them on the topic, but then we lose rights to the artwork, and it wasn't fiscally worth it for us because we want to own it. You have a lot of money, that's great, but the money's gonna go. We want to own it. We want to own it.
Well, so what I've realized from the time you guys walked in here, great dynamic. The two of you are very good together.
Well, I've known them my whole life.
No, obviously, but you're also you have an ability to understand the street smarts, but also understand the business. Like,
Certain je ne sais quoi.
yeah, you're aggressive with it, which is different. You know, everybody's got a different touch to things. Like, what makes you keen to these things? Like, to be like, no, I'm going to do it this way, or no, you're not going to own that, or no, you're not going to have me sign off on your content.
Well, it comes down to this. You always listen to that little voice in your head. You know, the money sounds great. The fame sounds great. Oh, I'll tag you in this.
Yeah,
and you see that they have 300,000 followers.
It's
or a million
shortcomings.
followers.
Plus we have
it's short-lived. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Plus, we have a great family in our ear.
Yes, and
Great
they're
older
there to
brother,
help
great
us.
father, a lot of good people we surround ourselves with. And
Yeah, we
trust.
hang out with losers. You know, we sound with people that my mom always said, if you hang out with trash, you smell like it. You know, you said you want to hang out with millionaires. If you want to be a millionaire, hang out with millionaires, I believe. It's you are with the company you keep. And if we have a problem, I can always go to my brother. You know, and we don't, no matter how good the deal is, if it doesn't personally help both of us, then we don't take it.
Plus, it helps too when something
But how do you have
comes
the
to us.
confidence when you, let's just say you're a regular middle class family in North Arlington? I was probably lower middle class. Like, how do you have the balls? I knew that, and I found that out in the finance space where there was a bunch of attorneys a lot smarter than me, where I just said, like, I don't give a fuck.
Our family, our grandfather,
And
our
then-
uncle.
And look at people like
Yeah.
Albert Einstein. If you judge a fish and how good it climbs a tree and how good a monkey swims, it's a world of fucking idiots. You know, everyone has their niche. Everyone has something
You
they're
can't
fucking
judge
good
a
at.
fish's intelligence on its ability to climb a tree.
Okay, you know
I've
the
used that
whole
before.
quote. Can't count to 10, but you know fucking Einstein quotes like that.
Yeah, listen.
I was paraphrasing.
I can count to 11
He's a
now.
savant.
He's a savant.
I skip shit.
But the point of the story is, you get to. I'm worth it. I am fucking worth it.
Yeah,
and
know
when
your
someone
value.
wants something from you, there's a reason they want it.
Plus, we
they
push
don't
each
want to
other's
collect
boundaries
it.
a lot. So, like, I'll push him just because.
So talk about pushing boundaries real
Right.
quick. I want to go into the story. So you dove a little deeper in the East River, and for those people who are not non-divers or non-boaters, I realize you're fishing, you're doing anything boat racing, the current's moving. You don't
Yeah.
realize it when you're in a boat. All of a sudden you're like, wait, did we swing? Is our fucking anchor tied down? Like, the current's always moving.
Yeah.
East River's moving hot. So you go down, you do a dive, you don't have weights on you.
I didn't have adequate weight. I dove at slack tide, which when the current calms down for that little bit of time. And I dove down. I was already a saturated diver. I was pushing the absolute limit from Jump Street. We were diving 60
So
foot
someone
tables.
doesn't know what that means. What's saturated diver mean?
So you can dive for our industry, for hard hat diving, the rule of thumb is 60 for 60. So you can go to 60 feet for 60 minutes safely without any decompression stops. That's when you stop in the water and you off-gas the residual nitrogen in your body. right? So I was pushing
So
that
you
limit.
pull the thing off and
No, you hang out and you hold on to a rope and you just hang out there. Your body does
and you
the rest.
take the oxygen off.
No,
though.
it just we breathe regular ambient air.
Let it rest.
And you just sit there and you breathe normally, and then the body takes over and it forces that residual nitrogen out of your body. You off gas. When
Do you
come
ever
up
feel
too fast.
panicky in that situation?
No, it's funny because if I sit, my resting heart rate's like 110. Underwater, I'm like 60.
So you're like, that's like your
That's
calm
right.
A little
zone.
psychopath.
Yeah.
Like I'll take naps under
Why
the boat.
Adderalls make you take naps?
Some would say
Yeah.
serial killer heart rate. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but
I
all right.
did. I went that far.
Okay. Everyone needs a hobby, I guess.
True.
So from
You
there,
ever watch Dexter?
no, I heard it's a really good show though.
Yeah, it's like a.
It was good for the first couple seasons. Then it got weird.
Yeah, it got
Like
weird.
most
All right,
shows.
Rotten
Last season
Tomatoes.
sucked.
Jeez, let me watch it. I'll get an answer on you.
Fine. You won't watch it.
So from there, I won't. So from there, I dove a bunch of times in a row, and I became a saturated diver, which means my body had a lot of residual nitrogen in it. This particular fateful day, I went from 60 feet of water to surface under 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's too fast.
That's too fast.
So you got up on the boat. I'm gonna move the story along for lack of time. You got up on the boat, smoking some stogies, headaches. Your brother's driving like an asshole. Get home,
Yeah,
super
get
tired, pass out. Wake up at 5 in the morning. You're like, fuck, I feel fucked up. Someone stabbed me in my fucking
Yeah,
back.
my lungs killing me. I have pain in my shoulder, pain in my foot. I went through the rest of the day, got the kids to school, did my
Copter's
household.
coming back.
I felt pretty good that day.
Good for you. I talked to my boy, the legend. He works with us, John Santiago. He's a dive medic. He's been in the industry 20 years. And then finally, I couldn't do the pain anymore. I went to the hospital. The hospital misdiagnosed me. But after that, Santiago showed up, questioned the doctors and what they were doing, gave them a firm understanding of what they needed to do, and they medevaced me to Jacoby Medical Center in the Bronx. They put me in a decompression chamber for 6 hours. I got diagnosed with decompression.
Explain why though, for the people
Because
that
I had
know.
residual nitrogen trapped
It's
in the
called
soft
bends,
tissue.
right?
It's called getting bent, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had it in my neck, my foot, and my right lung, all my right side.
So you had essentially blood clots.
well, no,
bubbles.
but nitrogen bubbles.
Yeah.
So from there, they just put me in a chamber, bring me down to pressure, breathing a green gas or healthy gas, pure oxygen, and it cures you. It takes all the bubbles out
That's
of you.
fucking wild, and that was actually invented by divers who risked their life to figure out what happens when you come up too fast.
So that's how they came up with the Navy dive tables, the hyperbaric chamber. They came up with all these scenarios that give you the answers when you have these problems. They also call it caisson disease. They came up with that term when they were building the Brooklyn Bridge. The guys that were digging the holes for the footings were going down the ladders and coming up too fast and getting sick, essentially getting the bends. Because they were still under pressure,
Yeah.
even though the water was blocked off
It's
by
so
caissons.
wild. I mean, go to the bottom of the swimming pool,
Atmospheric
6 foot.
pressure,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I got back.
You were close to dying.
I was on the door, yeah. It was touch and go for a little bit. They didn't
We gotta
medevac
get you
me.
some life insurance, dude.
Dude, don't
We gotta
get Josh
check
started
out.
on life insurance. Water and life
Josh, for him,
insurance.
he's learning. He's
They're
smart.
solar. He likes those three things. Sun sponges. We're changing the name.
So you guys obviously are just chasing your dreams. You're
That's
just
it.
doing you.
And I recommend anyone that's out there who has an idea, has a theory, right? Why not? Why not you?
Spend
Yeah.
your free time doing it.
Yeah, everyone invests in these corporations they work for. Give them 40, 50, 60 hours of their life, right? And then come home and sit on the
80.
couch. Take some of that time and invest in yourself.
I call it soul sucking.
That's what I call my ex-wife.
I think you had that balls, and you guys both have balls.
You need to.
And you're going after something different, and you found this thing that this guy Reeves talked to Rogan and said, "Hey, you're gonna have it on this podcast, dude." That's a fucking next level. You're going some thumb wrestling with Snoop Dogg, right? Soon.
I hope I get to thumb wrestle him.
He started celebrity thumb wrestling.
What's up with those boots, dude?
Well, I had not often I get had, but this particular time I did. I went and got new boots at Red Wing, and they fucking lied to me. They told me that they're rated for all these chemicals and they're good for welding.
You need to get Brunt boots.
I keep seeing shit on TikTok about
Local
them.
dude, and he actually advertises his own shit. He's a regular dude.
Oh yeah?
Brunt needs to sponsor our shit. Good
Well,
dude.
if you reach out to them, tell them I said
We're
hi.
gonna get some free boots. Mike, free boots from Brunt's.
I mean, I'll put them to the
Blunts.
ringer. These are 3 months old. I bring them to the most harshest environments. I will test your boots. I don't want one guy that does one trade. I do all the trades. I'm a plumber. I'm a plumber, but 60 feet underwater blindfolded. Well, I'm an electrician. I've done that underwater 60 feet blindfolded. Like, I always meet other trades and how great they are.
Blindfolded.
Because you have this much visibility.
He's like, oh, you're a hooker for underwater, 60 feet blindfold.
Yeah, blindfolded.
OnlyFans underwater?
It's actually called Only Propellers. Similar concept, but a lot of prop humor.
A lot of whales.
All right, a lot of whales. All right, we'll take
Getting
that.
back to thumb wrestling, my main goal with that is to thumb wrestle Snoop Dogg, The Rock,
Right, yeah.
or Rosie O'Donnell. I think those two.
Either or. Either or. Can hold their
Those
own.
two people, I think, will be the pinnacle of thumb wrestling for me.
Yeah.
So if I bring you guys down to a serious level, because you
Yeah.
guys aren't dummies, you're actually very intelligent. And a show recently wanted you on, which they were going to probably try to make you look dumb, and you guys are far from it. Talk about it from a real business perspective, entrepreneurial perspective. What is the different roles that you two play?
So we did a lot of media stuff and a lot of attention coming our way, and everyone wanted us on because we're the flavor of the week, in mid-January. And then the Daily Show reached out to us, wanting us to come on the Daily Show, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I got excited. I was like, oh, this is fucking great. It's mainstream, it's gonna be good. And I bring it home, I'm like, John, Daily Show. And John's like, fuck that.
No.
I was like, what?
I watch it enough to see where they go with certain stories, and they come on, they mock you, they kind of make fun of you a little bit. Especially if the story's ridiculous, like, why would there be shit tusk in the river?
East River, yeah, it's a crazy story.
Stupid? Yeah.
So, it's always good.
Now I'll go on.
Yeah,
with
now
the
we'll
bone.
fuck with them.
Like,
but
all right.
it's good when you're young and you're starting out and you're being an entrepreneur and you're doing your own. You get a good, solid support system, but a good teacher, a good partner. No man's an island. No, whoever said they did it by themselves is full of shit.
Plus, when we
no
make
one
a
does it by
decision, we're
themselves.
calling a bunch of different people.
You get
We're
a good
having,
team around you.
You guys have a buddy
brainstorming.
that takes you on his boat.
Yeah, you got a boat guy. The best boat person is, the best boat is the one your friend owns. You get a boat guy. We got Josh, who's our right-hand man. We got Cortez, shows up no matter rain or shine.
Josh is your fucking, this guy's the man.
We have a good, solid crew.
You made sure you had some water tonight.
Oh, this guy is fucking water. He made me drink like 5 bottles. I got to piss like a racehorse. He's in Santiago. We butt our heads. We have differences in a lot of topics, but he's still a hell of a diver.
And that guy called me for the show?
That was the guy that called you.
All right, he seems like he knows the shit, though.
He's a
adds
hell of a diver. Hell of a diver.
Everybody adds value. As a leader, you got to understand that, like, hey, we're all in this together. All boats rise with the tide.
That's it. And you got to know what everyone brings to the table and really mold them to be the best they can be.
Are you able to say what the next network show is going to call what you're doing?
Well, the title I cannot discuss, but the premise is we're looking for mammoth bones in the East River.
We're looking for mammoth bones in Manhattan.
Maybe you already found it.
Yeah, it's fucked, huh?
It's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing about
Now you're
that
gonna pay me.
during contact time. I want it.
It'd be a crazy turn of events. Hey, we want to use this content for our show. And I become Joe Pesci real quick. Fuck, you pay me.
Yeah.
And they're like, but what?
Sorry, it's watermarked already with our logo.
We own it.
And everybody's so afraid of like
Excuse me.
people, and that's what you got to realize as entrepreneurs. Like, dude, go for you and understand that like you just negotiate shit.
Yeah.
Pay me. Like, just be real.
What are they gonna do?
You know
Say
the
no?
value you have.
Say no, okay. I look at it this way. What's the worst thing that can happen to you, right? I get it? Worst thing that can happen to you is you die, right? That's most people's biggest fear. You die. Well, if I die, what happens? I mean, if you're a holy person, you go to the kingdom of heaven. Fucking dope. I'm hanging out. I'm partying the rest of my life, and we're good. Eternity. Or, if you don't believe in that, yes, you're done. Nothing. No responsibilities. But you gave it your all. So get that mindset.
You went all in.
What's the worst that can happen? You're dealing with some negotiations. Well, let's see. He's not going to beat the shit out of me. Right? He's not going to beat my ass, right? He's not going to get one over on me because I already know what he wants. So, give it my all. You want 10 grand? Ask for 20.
Yeah, believe in yourself.
And then he goes, I'll give you 10. You got what you wanted.
Yep.
And he came out hard and strong. Like, always bet on yourself and don't let yourself get in the way. Don't double. Whatever your first instinct is, go with it.
And also, don't wait for it.
Yeah, because it's not going to wait for
Don't
it.
sit home. Don't wait for. We'll wait for the TV deal to come. No, we're out there filming our own
Go take
shit.
it.
Yeah, you're showing up tonight. He's
That's
got
it.
twins and fucking one in the hospital.
I'm actually leaving right here. I'm going to
speaking
go
of
feed.
that, we got to roll. We got to finish this up. You guys are great dudes. You're busy as shit. Thank you for coming down. This is fun. We'll have more.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
We'll do a
I'd
bunch
love
of
to
other
make it
shit
happen
together.
again.
We'll all rise together. You're good dudes, and that's what matters. Cheers. Thank you for coming on. Fireside America gives a shit about good people, especially
Thanks
Jersey
for having
people.
us.
Thank you.
Cheers. Get to your.
I got to go, yeah. You got to